Right, today we're going to be talking about pips obsession. That could be short pips, long pips, medium pips, any kinds of pips. Now, I could go into a whole lot of talking about how my opponents are constantly obsessed with my pips, and I could talk about how how complained about every single shot that I made using the pips, which turned out to be a lot less than you would think. But I'm not going to complain about people that complain about pips. I'm going to talk to the people that use pips and give you a little different insight, maybe something you haven't thought about before. So I might be talking to a very small group of people, but a very important group of people, because this could make a difference. All right, right here I've got a racket with some Yasaka long pips. I've got a version of TSP curl, Spin Lord Warren, doesn't have anything on the back, that will soon be fixed. One of the things you may discover is that if you use a long pips rubber or any type of pips rubber, that you might start thinking that your game completely revolves around that around that type of rubber, and your fortunes will go up and down depending on what pips you have. That could be true if you primarily use, if you're using the pips rubber 90% of the time, I guess you better have it right. You really need to have it right. And there are some significant differences. But for a lot of players, and I think I'm one of them, it's a lot less about the pips than you would think. In fact, having the right smooth rubber on the other side, in which case I really like Hurricane. I know there's a lot of different kinds of Hurricane. This happens to be the Nataku Turbo Orange version, which works really, really well. And take that away from me, and it doesn't matter what kind of pips I have, it doesn't work so well. Here's the point. We frequently talk about what kind of rubber we use, because it does influence our game. Equipment does make a difference. But if you are a pips player, don't forget the other side of the rubber, the other side of the blade, because that might actually have a whole lot more to do with how you play than what particular pips you have. I know in my case, I could probably go a lot of different directions on the pips, but I've got to get the blade has got to be the right blade, and the smooth rubber is equally important, and in my case, probably much more important. I end up using the smooth rubber at least twice as much as I use the pips, but the pips get 10 times more attention. Keep that in mind, you pips players. All right, thanks, bye.